Viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
October 9, 2006. It was typically evening near the town of Cactus, Texas. BNSF local freight train was making its way from the plant stop from Carrick to Amarillo, Texas after they had to make a plant stop to drop off 56 freight cars at Cactus, Texas at a siding. After the crew, they positioning of the switch to set on the siding. But the train was still moving at the time, and later they had this plant stop. But however, after the switch was set up for the siding, the crew, however, then later set the switch for the siding and left there. But they made a huge error. Meanwhile, heading in the opposite direction was a BNSF coal train that is departing heading towards La Junta, Colorado. The train consisted of two locomotives. Leading was BNSF ES44 EC 5942, which at the time was 6 months old, and the other locomotive is unknown. However, the crew were unaware that disaster is just seconds away. BNSF 5942 passed Tumbleweed Railroad crossing at milepost 64.73 at shortly after midnight. After the train had passed through the railroad crossing, the crew were unaware that the switch was not set correctly for the main line. Just after the train passed the Tumbleweed Railroad crossing, the crew, however, they noticed that the switch that it was set for the siding, and they noticed there were some freight cars directly into that siding. The train went to an emergency, and he and the conductor went to the floor and braced for impact. But unfortunately, it was too late to stop in time. BNSF 5942 collided with the rear end of the loco at 7:30 p.m. The force of the collision caused 21 freight cars to pile up, the 16 cars from the coal train, with the 5 cars from the loco. BNSF 5942 suffered damaging into its front end body, and its cab section was completely destroyed, but it remains upright. 16 coal cars started to pile up into each other, and some of them were leaking coal and spill everywhere. Amazingly, as a miracle, nobody was killed in this wreck, but the engineer and the conductor had suffered minor injuries and were taken to a hospital. The damage estimated from BNSF was estimated almost $8 million. But people were wondering the same question. How could a collision happen like this? And why? It didn't take too long for the FRA to find a smoking gun. A misaligned switch. The switch should have set for the main line, but however, it was set for the siding. So who was responsible for setting the switch? That'd be the crew of the loco for not resetting the switch or taking action properly. The accident is more similar to the 2002 Vader, Washington collision, where the BNSF coal train collided the rear end of a BNSF intermodal train. The accident leaves 0 deaths and 2 injured. I guess history must have been repeated itself. In the end, some of the coal cars and the freight cars that derailed were taken for scrap out of the derailment, while the 2 locomotives of the coal train that derailed were repaired and put back into service. BNSF 5942 was taken to Kansas City, and it was repaired and put back into service, and it continued around as of today. 22 years have passed since this collision, but sadly, more collisions occurred. But hopefully, this will be another story for now.